Here's what happened. The MXGP of Patagonia Argentina, MX2 Race 1, the opening round of the FIA Motocross World Championship, and it was Hunter Lawrence with the first foxhole shot of 2018. Darian Sinai led though in the early stages, but Paul Jonas, defending champion, started to carve his way through. About 4th or 5th place, he made a move on Ben Watson to go 3rd. Meanwhile, Sinai's turn at the front came to an end on lap 4 as Hunter Lawrence went through, and he was quickly followed through by Paul Jonas as well. So it was Hunter Lawrence who led from Paul Jonas and Darian Sinai. But then Thomas Olsen, who finished 3rd in the championship last year, made that move on the American to go 3rd around about the halfway point. Meanwhile, with a couple of laps to go, Hunter Lawrence came under attack from Paul Jonas. He made an easy move on the Australian. He made a couple of mistakes. Jonas then went on to win race 1. Lawrence was 2nd. Thomas Olsen was 3rd, ahead of Ben Watson and Henry Jacobi. MXGP Race 1 over on the far side of the screen. Antonio Cairoli with the first foxhole shot in MXGP. Julian Lieber was right there, so too Roman Fevre, Jeffrey Herlings, Gauthier Paulin, and Jeremy Van Horbik. Everyone jostling for position in the early stages of the race, but Jeffrey Herlings was able to muscle his way past Gauthier Paulin to get himself into 4th. He then gave chase to the rest of the riders ahead of him. Found his way on the rear wheel of Roman Fevre as Clement de Sal went past his teammate Julian Lieber. Tony Cairoli, though, had led from the very first lap, and in the closing stages was being caught by Jeffrey Herlings as the battle for 3rd was being played out between Roman Fevre and Clement de Sal. De Sal went through briefly. Fevre responded immediately. And then the Kawasaki snuck back up the inside and stayed there for not very long. Eventually, that battle did go the way of Clement de Sal. Tony Cairoli, though, was victorious in race 1. Jeffrey Herlings on the 84 was 2nd. De Sal was 3rd. Fevre 4th. Van Horbik was 5th. MX2 Race 2. Paul Jonas on the far side of the gate, but as everybody started to brake, Covington slipped up, and it was a foxhole shot for David Puchis. By the time we got to turn 2, Jonas was leading. Puchis was then in 2nd position, and Darian Sinai gave chase. He moved into 3rd with a move on Covington, quickly followed by Thomas Olsen, who pushed his teammate back. The two Husqvarnas battled briefly. Calvin Verlanderen, who didn't make the best start, started to find his way through field as well, and he got into 7th with that. He would eventually come home into 5th, as we'll see later on. Hunter Lawrence, though, another poor starter in race 1, found his way past Puchis to get into 4th, but then he started to fade in the closing stages of the race. Thomas Olsen was comfortable in 2nd. Ben Watson was in 4th place. After that pass on Hunter Lawrence just after the halfway mark, then Verlanderen made a move on the young Australian as well on the final lap to go into 5th. Hunter Lawrence would have to settle for 6th position. Paul Jonas, though, went on to make it a perfect double here in Patagonia. Thomas Olsen came home 2nd, Sinai 3rd. Ben Watson just hung on for 4th ahead of the hard-charging Calvin Verlanderen, who came home in 5th. And the overall classification looked like this. Paul Jonas heads to the next round as a championship leader. Olsen 2nd, Lawrence 3rd. Watson missing out on a first ever podium in 4th. And of course, the championship looks the same as well. But that was the overall Grand Prix classification here. Paul Jonas, though, stands on the top step of the podium here at the first time of asking as a defending champion for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Thomas Olsen 2nd overall, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Hunter Lawrence 3rd overall on the Honda 114 Motorsports team.
It's nice to keep the red plate, my red number 1 for red for also next round, and you know, it looks amazing on Red Bull KTM Factory Racing team bike, and I'm really, I was really confident coming into the new season, and now, you know, I showed that I can go fast.
MXGP Race 2, and once again from the far right as we looked at it, Tony Cairoli with the 2nd of the foxhole shots. Clement de Sal soon got himself into 2nd position, but the two Yamahas eventually got split by Jeffrey Herlings as Jeremy Seaworth fell from 7th place. He finished in 1st, the first race in 7th as well. But that was the end of his race pretty much. He eventually retired. Jeffrey Herlings, though, was on a charge. And by the time he'd got himself past Jeremy Van Horbik here in an aggressive move where he leant on the Belgian, got himself up into third around about lap 8. The following lap, he was past the other Belgian, Clément de Sale on the Kawasaki, who had to yield. And then, in the closing stages, the final lap, in fact, Tony Cairoli's lead came under threat from Jeffrey Herlings. The two Red Bull KTMs fought it out. And eventually, a third of the way around the final lap, Jeffrey Herlings sped around the outside of the 222. Cairoli just edged clear. Cairoli bobbled just after that, but it was Herlings who did go on to take an emphatic win in Moto number 2. He did so with about 9 laps to go, 9 seconds behind Cairoli. Either way, Herlings was victorious in the race, and that gave him the overall victory. He shared the points with Cairoli. De Sale was third, Van Horebeke fourth, and Fevre came home in fifth. And same as the championship, Herlings, Cairoli, De Sale, Van Horebeke, Fevre, Paulin, Simpson, and Lieber. But for Jeffrey Herlings, well, he starts 2018 15 places higher than he did last year. He will head to round 2, the MXGP of Europe in the Netherlands in 2 weeks' time as the red plate holder, but he shares the points with Tony Cairoli. A great solid start, though, for Clément de Sale in third.
You know, I did everything I possibly could, you know, to be the best I am right now. And you see hard work paid off, but I never could do without Red Bull KTM racing team. We've been really working hard during the winter to get better out of the gate, and it's been shown I did. So we try to be even better on that, and I feel the riding is good already. We still try to improve, and it's going to be a long year. Battles with Tony like this, it's pretty impressive. So it's going to be a long 18 more rounds, but once again, thank you everybody for supporting me, and can't wait for Valkenswaard next race up.